Hi, first graders. Welcome to Math Extension. You are going to need something to write with. If you don't have a pencil, that's okay. Just anything that will write and something to write on. And if you don't have any paper, then maybe you have some scrap paper or the back of an envelope. If you have a whiteboard, you can use that. Whatever you have to write with, that will be helpful today. So you can pause the video and go and find those items. So this is Mrs. Buck here, and I'm really sad that we don't get to meet online for this class today. You'll notice that you don't hear any music playing because it's just me in the classroom. I don't have any students here because Blackboard wasn't working, but we're going to give you the same lesson that I prepared for this afternoon. So this is for Wednesday, April 22nd. But whenever you listen to it, you can do the math along with me. And if you're not a first grader, that's okay too. Join in on the math fun. So today, we're going to go bowling. I'm going to bowl today. One of my favorite movies has that song. All right, first grade Bowl-O-Rama. So our bowling math today is going to be a challenge. We want to remember our COATS mission. While we're working on math, we are going to use our grit today because we're strong individuals. We're going to be risk takers today because at COATS, we are bold thinkers. All right, ready for some math? Here we go. How can you get the number 6? So if I numbered all those bowling pins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, how could I knock down the number 6? I'm going to share with you my thoughts of how you can knock down the number 6. I'm going to turn on my document camera and share that with you. How can I make 6? I could knock down the number 6, or I can knock down the 4 and the 2. 4 and 2 makes 6. One way, two ways. Can you think of another way? Remember, we have the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we also have the number 10. How can we make 6? Here's the other way I was thinking. 1 plus 2, that makes 3. And if I add 3 more, what is 3 plus 3? That equals 6. We have found 3 ways to get the number 6. If I knock down 1, 2, and 3, I can get the number 6. Now, when we look at our bowling pins, we only have each number one time. I'm going to share that file with you. Hi! I'm going to share that file with you again. Hold on one second. Here we go. So you'll see in the bowling pins, each number is only listed one time. So I couldn't do 3 plus 3, even though 3 plus 3 makes 6. But I can make 3 with 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 is 3, and then I knock down the 3, and that will make 6. All right, now that we know how to play, we're going to try a couple more. All right, how can I get 10? What are all the different ways to make 10? I hope that you're trying to figure this out on your own. Use that grit. You've got this. How can you make 10? If you are ready to share with me, go ahead and move on in the video. If you need more time, just hit pause in the video and take some more time to solve it. Okay, so now we want to make the number 10. I could knock down the 10. That would make 10. I could do 2 plus 3 plus 5. That would make 10. Ooh, it's hard to read that. Let me move my camera a little. There we go. 2 plus 3 plus 5. Because what is 2 plus 3? That would make 5 plus 5 equals 10. See how we make those combinations? So that's the second way. That was my first way. I could do 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Whew, that's a lot of add-ins. Let's see if that works. What is 1 plus 2? Very good, 3. What is 3 plus 4? That is 7. So I've made another way. Can you think of another way to make 10? We're going to go back to the file and see what our next number is. How can we make the number 12? You got to be a crazy bowler to get some of these pins knocked down. I don't know if you've ever bowled before, but some of these combinations will be all over the place. But it could happen. Let me share with you some of the ways that I was thinking of sharing. I was thinking of knocking down to make the number 12. So remember, the combination now needs to be 12. So what could we do? Well, we could do 10 plus 2. That would be a big hop with the way that those bowling pins were laid out, but 10 and 2 makes 12. I know that your teachers have talked to you about counting on, right? 10, 11, 12. How else can you make 12? 7 plus 5. If I look at 7, I see 5 and 2. Right? You know that. You know 5 and 2 make 7. I know you know that. You're such smart first graders. Well, now I have 5 and 5. And you know 5 plus 5, that makes 10. And then you have 2 more. There's that 10 and 2 again. So 7 plus 5 makes 12. There are so many different ways that we can make 12. Let me just share with you our way that I'm thinking of. How about 8 plus 4? So if I take this 4 and I split that up into 2 and 2, now I have an easy fact that you've been learning since August. You know 8 and 2 makes what? 10. Yeah, those combinations of 10 are so important to memorize and know. You should know all the ways to make 10. Now when you're adding even these larger numbers, use those combinations of 10 to help you. You can be a little smart lazy that way. So if 8 and 2 makes 10, what do you have left? You have this other 2 over here. Don't forget it. So 8 and 2 makes 10, and then we're going to add 2 more. And what do we get? 10 plus 2 is 10, 11, 12. 12. So we've come up with another combination if I knock down the 8 to 4. All right, I have one more bowling problem to share with you, and then we're going to go on to soccer. So are you ready to try one more bowling problem? I think you are. You can do this. And remember, if I'm going too fast, hit pause. Give yourself time to figure it out, okay? Don't keep going with me because I want you to try the math. So just hit pause if you need more time. All right, this one, what bowling pins could be knocked down to make 20? That is a really big first grade number, to make 20. Hopefully you're trying different combinations. It's okay to write all over your paper. In math, you have to show your work. So we want lots of work written down on your paper. Remember that grit. You're working hard, and it's okay to make a mistake. If it doesn't work, try a different combination. Remember, last time I talked about the combinations of 10. So if you're still working, now is the time to hit pause. If you're ready for me to explain some more, continue listening. Think of those combinations, what you know that makes 10. So if our first bowling pin is 10, what else makes 10? You can do 10 plus 7 plus 3. Because 7 and 3 makes 10. Now you have 10 plus 10, and we should know that because you're such good counters. I know in kindergarten, I heard most of you that were here in kindergarten counting by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40. So 10 and 10 more is 20, right? Well, how else can we get 10? So if I knock down the 10 pin, that's one way. If I knock down the 10 pin, I can do 5 and 5. No, I can't do 5 and 5 because we only have one 5 pin. That won't work. But Mrs. Buck, remember, you can do a combination that makes 5. So now I have 10 plus 5 plus, what is 2 and 3? 5. And you know 5 and 5 makes 10. So 10 plus 10 is 20 again. Whew, for that one, we knocked down the 10 pin, the 5 pin, the 2 pin, and the 3 pin. If we knock down those 4 pins, we will get 20. See how many other combinations you can come up with. Remember, if you knock down the 10 pin, then you can knock down the other 2 numbers that make 10. If you knock down the 10 and the 5 pin, there's another way for you to make another 5. Can you figure that out? Hit pause if you need more time. You could do 10 plus 6 plus 4. Or 10 plus 5 plus 1 plus 4. I wonder if there's a way that you could make 20 without knocking down the 10 pin. Can you make 20 without knocking down the 10 pin? Try that challenge. Hit pause if you need more thinking time. Think about how you can make 10. Doesn't 7 and 3 make 10? And plus 4 makes 10? And we already said you're such good counters by 10, you know 10 plus 10 makes 20. That's just one example. I bet you can come up with some more. Hit pause if you want to keep working. I'm going to move on now to some soccer problems. Remember, hit pause if you want to continue the bowling. I know that you are ready for the challenge. Don't give up. All right, so let's look at some of these soccer problems today. These are a little bit different than what we just talked about, because you are going to see the soccer ball has 3 numbers on it, and I have to get into the goal, but there are 2 defenders at the goal. So my first problem, the defenders are the numbers 1 and 4. So I cannot get the number 4. I cannot get the number 1. What numbers are between 1 and 4? If you said the number 2 and 3, you are correct. So I need to take 1, 1, and 1 and somehow add and subtract those numbers to either get the number 2 or get the number 3. Ready for the challenge? So we want the number 2 or we want the number 3. And I have the numbers 1, 1, and 1. Well, if I do 1 plus 1 plus 1, I get the number 3, and I score a goal. That's all we have to do for these soccer problems. You add or subtract them. I wonder if I can get the number 2. I can get the number 1 if I do 1 plus 1 minus 1. But that won't work, because 1 plus 1 is 2, minus 1 would equal 1, and then it would hit the defender. But as long as you get 1 goal, you get a point. So I have 1 point for this problem. Let's see how many points you can get on the other soccer problems. I'm going to project the problems and give you a few minutes to solve them. Remember, you have to get the number between the 2 defenders. So for our next problem, the defender is 2 and 5. What numbers are between 2 and 5? 3 and 4. So you need to take 1, 2, and 3 and try to get those numbers when you add or subtract them between to equal 3, or 4. When you're ready for the bottom problem, the defenders are 5 and 8. What numbers are between 5 and 8? It has to equal either 6 or 7. And the numbers on my soccer ball are 1, 2, and 4. I'm going to share two answers that I got for the middle problem and then the answer that I got for the bottom problem. If you are not ready yet, go ahead and hit pause on this video. So here was my thinking. So for the first problem, it has to equal 3 or 4. My soccer ball was 1, 2, and 3. You can mix up the numbers. So if I do 3 plus 2, that equals 5. Then subtract the 1, you get 4, which will give me a goal. Yay, I scored. For the bottom problem, we were trying to get 6 or 7 to get a goal, and our soccer ball said 1, 2, or 4. For this problem, if I add all those numbers, 1 and 2 makes 3, 3 plus 4 makes 7. I scored! Yay! All right, my friends, hopefully you enjoyed that challenge. I have another page for us to try before we leave this afternoon. Same deal with the soccer problem. You're going to find the number in between. This one will have different defenders and different soccer balls. Go ahead and take a few minutes to try and score some goals. Boys and girls, go ahead and hit pause and continue working. When you are ready, hit play again, and I will go over how I got goals on these three. For our first problem, we wanted our goal to be 6 or 7. The soccer ball was a 1, 2, and 5. If I add 5 plus 2, I get 7. Minus 1 will give me 6, and that means I scored a goal. For the middle problem, our soccer ball had 1, 2, and 6. The goal was 3 or 4. 6 minus 2 is 4. If I subtract the 1 then, 4 minus 1 is 3, and that gives me a goal. And for the last problem, 7 and 8 will give me a goal. If I add 5 plus 3, I get 8, and then subtract the 1, and I get 7. I really hope everyone enjoyed the math today. It's so much fun to do math, more fun to do it with you, but I'm really glad that you took the time and the challenge and you worked on math today. If you would like some more challenge, these games can be found at thinkfun.com, or I put the link in Blackboard. So if you can get into Blackboard, go under Specials. There's a tab called Specials. Click on Math with Mrs. Buck, and then click on Links. You'll find a first grade folder, and that will take you directly to the link with the soccer and bowling, and there's even a skiing game. Or there's a Word document where I have the soccer challenges that we just completed, and you can try them again later next week. Have a good week, everyone. Thanks for doing math. Bye-bye.